For over 6 decades, India honored the Indus Waters Treaty through wars, through terror attacks, through military standoffs, even after the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, even after Pulwama. But after the Pahalgam terror attack in April 2025, India made a historic decision. It placed the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. Now, more than a year later, Pakistan is mourning of a water war, while India is preparing a completely new strategy. So, why did India freeze one of the world's most celebrated water sharing agreements? And what exactly is India planning now? Namaste, I'm Sonam Singh, and you are watching Organiser. Signed in the year 1960 with the World Bank mediation, the Indus Water Treaty divided the 6 rivers of the Indus Basin between India and Pakistan. The 3 eastern rivers, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj, were allocated to India. The 3 western rivers, Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, were largely reserved for Pakistan. In effect, Pakistan received rights over nearly 80% of the basin's waters, making it one of the most generous river sharing agreements accepted by any upper riparian country. Despite being the upstream nation, India accepted major restrictions. Every hydropower project, every storage facility, every spillway design and operational procedures. Many of these required scrutiny under the treaty. But the major question is that why did India actually freeze the treaty? The immediate trigger was the Pahalgam terrorist attack. On April 23 last year, India's Cabinet Committee on Security announced that the treaty would remain in abeyance until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably ended support for cross border terrorism. But Indian officials say this decision was not based on one incident alone. It reflected decades of accumulated frustration. For years, India claims it faithfully implemented the treaty. Meanwhile, Pakistan repeatedly challenged almost every Indian project on the western rivers, whether large or small, whether technically compliant or not. Projects often became stuck in prolonged legal and procedural disputes. According to India, the treaty's dispute resolution mechanism gradually became a tool to delay legitimate Indian development rather than resolve genuine technical disagreements. India also says that the treaty no longer reflects today's realities. Remember, the agreement was drafted in the late 1950s. India's population has since multiplied several times. Water demand has exploded, cities have expanded, agriculture requires more irrigation, industries need reliable water supplies, and groundwater levels in states like Punjab and Haryana are declining rapidly. At the same time, climate change has completely altered river behavior. Rainfall patterns are changing, floods are becoming more intense, droughts are more frequent, snow melt patterns in the Himalayas have shifted. Modern water management requires flexible reservoir operations and better storage systems. But many of these engineering practices simply did not exist in 1960. Technologies like low-level outlets, sediment flushing, gated spillways, and advanced dam safety standards were not incorporated into the original treaty. India says it cannot manage 21st century water challenges using engineering rules written nearly 70 years ago. That Pakistan says India is weaponizing water. Pakistan has accused India of using water as a strategic weapon. Its defense minister Khwaja Asif has even warned that any threat to Pakistan's water security could lead to war. Military leaders have also publicly discussed the issue, but India rejects these accusations. Indian officials argue that Pakistan's real problem is not upstream water diversion, it is poor domestic water management. Pakistan's own national water policy admits that roughly 35 million acre feet of water flows into the Arabian Sea every year without being used. Its canal system reportedly loses between 30 and 40% of diverted water before it even reaches the farms. Old infrastructure, canal seepage, limited storage, inefficient irrigation, delayed modernization, these, India says, are Pakistan's internal governance challenges, not result of India's hydropower projects. Even former Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has publicly acknowledged that much of Pakistan's water crisis stems from internal mismanagement. So, what is India planning now? Instead of allowing large volumes of water to flow unused, India plans to maximize utilization of the water it is entitled to under the treaty. Several major hydropower projects on the Chenab Basin are being accelerated. These include the 1856 megawatt Sawalkot project, the 1000 megawatt Pakal project, the 850 megawatt Ratul project, the 624 megawatt Kiru project, and the 540 megawatt Kuar project. These projects together are expected to strengthen India's clean energy capacity while fully utilizing its legitimate rights under the Indus Basin. India is also moving ahead with the Uj multipurpose project on a tributary of the Ravi. Officials say this project will store water that actually flows across the international border without being used. Besides irrigation, it will also provide drinking water, flood control, and electricity. India is also restoring existing hydropower stations. One example is the Salal hydroelectric project. When it was originally designed, it had sediment management outlets. However, after Pakistan raised objection, those outlets were sealed. Without proper sediment flushing, the reservoir gradually filled with silt. Its storage capacity fell dramatically. Efficiency suffered, turbines experienced greater wear and tear. Now, India has begun sediment flushing operation at both Salal and Baglihar. Officials say this is the only beginning of a broader program to restore older dams using modern engineering practices. Does this mean Pakistan will lose water? Not necessarily. Most of India's planned projects are run off the river hydropower projects. They generate electricity without permanently diverting river flows. However, India now appears determined to exercise every right available under the treaty and perhaps beyond it if the treaty remains suspended. That marks a significant shift from the cautious approach followed for decades. For 65 years, the Indus Waters Treaty survived wars, political crises, and diplomatic breakdowns. Today, it faces the greatest uncertainty. India says that the treaty belongs to another era. Pakistan insists it remains vital for its water security. Whether the agreement is eventually renegotiated, revived, or replaced, could India Pakistan relations be shaped for decades to come? One thing, however, is already clear. For the first time since 1960, India's approach to the waters of the Indus basin is undergoing a fundamental transformation. Thank you for watching. If you found this explainer useful, do like, share, and subscribe to Organiser for more in depth analysis on India's strategic and policy decisions.